Thanks, David. Great to be here. Go to the next slide, please. And the next. So Neurotech is a biopharmaceutical company that is developing these unique neurological solutions to treat a whole range of neurological needs that have been largely unmet. We have got exclusive licenses to develop and commercialize proprietary strains of medicinal cannabis. And we've conducted some extensive preclinical studies on these strains. But more excitingly, we have conducted the world's first clinical trial in children with autism spectrum disorder, utilizing our proprietary whole plant strains of medicinal cannabis. We have lodged patents across all the major markets, and we have got, as I said, the potential to treat a multitude of neurological diseases outside of autism, but we are certainly starting with autism as our primary indication. Next slide, please. Our capital structure. So we have got share price now at 6 cents, market cap of 41 mil, and we have 2.3 mil cash in the bank. Next slide. Highly experienced board and management team. Brian Leedman, our chairman, has got extensive experience in the biotech sector. Krista Bates, a lawyer and ex-partner at Lavin Legal, where she headed up the medicinal cannabis group. Professor Alan Cripps, AO, a highly distinguished academic scientist and fantastic body of knowledge there at Griffith University. Winton Willisey and Mark Davis, who've both got capital market experience and business finance. Next slide, thanks. What makes NTI 164, our lead candidate, different from the rest? Well, firstly, we are not just another medicinal cannabis company. I'm sure you've heard a lot about medicinal cannabis companies, and I can tell you that every one that you've heard of before, it's either developing a CBD product or a CBD and THC product. Where we come in and where we're very different and unique is that our product is very rich in these minor cannabinoids. So CBDA is the main component. We've also got other minor cannabinoids like CBDG and CBN, and these are rarer. Because it's a whole plant, it also includes terpenes and flavonoids and other things that come together to create an effect whereby the result is greater than the sum of its parts. This is called the entourage effect, and there's been lots of work done out of Sydney University through the Lambert Initiative that talks about this, this entourage effect and the way that it works. So it's a little bit, well, it's very different to if you were just to extract the CBD or the THC out of the actual plant. We are using the whole plant, which has a different and more powerful effect. As I said, we've got a patent which was lodged in October last year, and we have got the potential to combine our proprietary strains with other blockbuster drugs in combination therapies. Next slide, thanks. Our preclinical evidence so far has shown us that we are able to reduce neuroinflammation and increase cell viability, increase energy production in the cell, reduce markers associated with neurodegeneration, so things like MS. And what these things are showing us really is that the way that this drug is working is through multiple different mechanisms of action. It's very exciting for us. Next slide. So why target autism? Well, autism is incredibly common. I'm sure you know someone with it. It occurs in 1 in 44 kids in the US. The symptoms of autism include things like difficulty communicating, repetitive body movements, just trouble socializing, and a host of other things. But currently there is little treatment options available for these kids, and the only FDA-approved drug is called risperidone, and that's an antipsychotic with pretty nasty side effects. So commonly things like digestive issues and weight gain, breast growth in little boys and girls. It's pretty horrible. And as you can imagine, these kids have already got enough issues. So The other drug they often prescribe is Ritalin, which creates anxiety and trouble sleeping. What parents are left with is the choice to either continue these drugs with the terrible side effects or to take them off. But what we do know about NTI 164 is that it's very safe and well tolerated. We announced our safety data last month, and I can talk a little bit more about what our trial has shown on the next slide. Let's go to that, please. Thanks. So our phase 1/2 trial is due to complete any minute now in the next few weeks. We released the safety component of this, which has shown that it's perfectly safe. No adverse events were noted. And since the trial was designed so that there was including a washout period where these kids would come off the drug once the trial had finished. But what happened, and I've never seen this before in my career, is that the parents lobbied the ethics committee at the hospital to say, we don't want to take our kids off this medication. So we had to amend our protocol to allow these kids to stay on the treatment. Now, as I said, we don't know the actual efficacy data at the moment, but those findings will be released to us very soon. All we do know is that the parents want their kids to stay on this drug. So next slide, please. Autism is a huge market opportunity for us. It's valued at 2.3 billion. But there are other markets out there which we plan to tackle as well. I'm very excited about the idea of doing an ADHD trial. We've also got multiple sclerosis, cerebral palsy, where we've done some preclinical work and continue to work around that. And the combination therapies, that's another very exciting area where we can combine our proprietary strains with blockbuster off-patent other drugs. Next slide, please. We lodged our patents in October last year through RAISE. And though we also conducted an international prior art search, which has really confirmed to us that there's no one else out there doing the same sorts of things. So that gives us great confidence to move forward. And our patents will be confirmed in October, because that's the way that the patent system works. Next slide, please. Our pathway to commercialisation. Well, we are very focused on the pharmaceutical pathway to commercialisation. That is involving the FDA, of course, and we see this as having the most potential upside. I mean, just look at the recent acquisition of GW Pharma by Jazz Pharmaceuticals last year for $7.2 billion US. And that was just a CBD product. We believe our product, our lead candidate, NTI 164, we see that as being really far superior to just a CBD alone product. So that's exciting. What's also exciting, as I've mentioned, is the idea of doing combination work, because that is actually a quicker pathway to market compared to if you were to be developing a brand new drug from scratch. So we got on the 505(b)(2) pathway at the FDA, and we see this as having huge potential upside and really expanding on our patents as well. Next slide, please. Neurotech compared to our peers. Well, it's quite hard to compare us to our peers, because these companies are all doing either CBD or CBD and THC products. But we see ourselves as being most aligned with IHL in Canex, because they're the only ones doing, to our knowledge, real combination trials with other drugs. So we see ourselves as doing something similar to that. But yeah, as I said, it's quite hard to compare us to peers per se, because there's no one else doing what we are doing. Next slide, please. We have got we've got lots happening in the near to medium term future. We're very much looking forward to seeing the results of these phase 1/2 trial coming out this month. And then we've got our FDA pre-IND meeting happening later this year. We've got our phase 2 3 trial starting this year, and those results will be finished next year. So it's a lot going on. We've got a very clear timeline and clear objectives. Next slide, thanks. So to summarize, look, NTI it's got a great board, great management team. We've got a unique product. We've got clinical programs underway and significant near-term and long-term milestones. So that's us in a nutshell. And thanks so much, David, for the opportunity to talk to you and your audience today.
Great presentation, Alex. Really enjoyed it, and clearly you're very passionate about not just the work that you're doing from a clinical point of view, but also the needs that you're meeting with this drug and the people who are being positively impacted from it. So congratulations. Now, in terms of the drug approval, do you have plans to look at Europe and other markets from an approval point of view?
Yeah, definitely. We have got the FDA through the US is our key focus, but certainly the EU, China, we've got our patients that cover us for all those major markets, and we certainly intend to take them there.
And are you seeing patient-led inquiry in some of those other markets? As you said, in the US, while you can't talk to the results as they haven't been announced, the patient feedback is very positive, and in a lot of cases, those patient cohorts internationally talk a lot amongst each other. Are you seeing sort of inbound inquiry from other markets?
Yeah, absolutely. That's one of the interesting things about this area is that compared to a lot of the other research areas that you can do clinical trials in, I've never seen so much inbound interest from patients, from advocacy groups. It makes recruitment really, really simple, and we've been inundated by requests from big organizations like the Autism Association as well. So certainly internationally and locally, we've had lots of inbound interest, and it does make the clinical trial recruitment period much, much speedier.
And is the hard balance that this is a very clear need, and the people who are impacted by it almost want you to hurry up, and you can't hurry up. It has to be done properly. You have to follow the steps to make sure that when you get to that point where you can actually sell a product and deliver a product commercially, that you've ticked all the boxes. Yeah,
absolutely. It's a lot of pressure too, because you're working with people's lives, and it's children and their parents. So yeah, it's an emotional issue, and it's definitely close to a lot of people's hearts. So there is a lot of pressure to get this done in the shortest time possible.
And I assume there's a lot of excitement as well as of the positive impact that you are making now, but the positive impact you believe this product and others can make to the lives of so many people.
Yeah.
And just to recap the milestones coming up, the flags that investors should be looking for, what are the key milestones over the next 6 to 12 months that investors should focus on?
Well, the main one is really going to be these results that'll be out this month. So that's extremely exciting. And then we're going to be doing some other projects there. So there's combination therapies, there's cerebral palsy, another indication. We've got our pre-IND meeting lined up with the FDA later this year, and we've got where is it? So there's so many amazing milestones that will be coming out over the next 6 months, and yeah, I look forward to updating you all and your audiences.
Well, investors love news flow. They love positive impact, and they love management that are driven to achieve positive impact in such an important way. Alex, congratulations on what you and the team have achieved. We look forward excitedly to results, and we don't know what they are, but we do look forward to seeing them drop over the next short period, and then following the success of the company as you continue on your journey. So Alex, thanks for your time.
Thanks, David. Appreciate it. Bye.